Tomorrow.
All right. I'll be at the salon tomorrow.
Okay.
He can leave it wherever. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right. So it says we're streaming live on YouTube now and we're recording. So that's good.
Okay.
He can leave it wherever. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Oh,
See,
oh.
so now just
I'm going to let the other two in.
All right.
Yep.
So we're streaming live on YouTube now, and we're recording.
and then cross X out that box just because otherwise we can hear the feedback.
So now just
I'm going to let the other two in.
yep.
This one.
We're streaming
Yep.
live.
Perfect.
Good. Okay.
Yep.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. We're going to call to order the Board of Health meeting at 4:32 p.m. for Tuesday, February 23rd. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, this meeting of the Dudley Board of Health will be conducted in total via remote participation. Specific information in the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town's website at dudleyma.gov. If you'd like to attend this meeting, please contact Amanda Jacobson at 508-949-8012 or building@dudleyma.gov. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to watch this meeting may do so in the following manner via YouTube and the posted link at www.dudleyma.gov. Okay, I welcome you all to the meeting. We have one item before we get to you, so we're just going to go through them. First up is 5 Brandon Road. It's just a revisit from last month. If you remember, we had the owners of the property next door inquiring what was going on. Just as an update, 5 Brandon Road went to the February 3rd Water Sewer Commissioners meeting. They presented some information, but not complete information. So they are coming back on March 3rd to reapproach water sewer with hopefully the additional information that was needed. So at this point, we're just waiting to hear what happens at the next water sewer meeting. Okay. Up next, we have 141 Center Road. A violation of the governor's order. If I could just have each of you identify who you are just for the meeting minutes, please.
Yeah, I'm Richard Toomey, the owner of the property.
Lisa Toomey.
Hugh O'Donnell, tenant.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just gonna give some information, make sure that we have correct information. This is regarding an incident that occurred on February 6, 2021 at approximately 11:57 p.m. regarding a large social gathering at the address of 141 Center Road in Dudley, Mass. So at the time that this occurred, the governor's order was no gathering over 10 people. We have been informed that there was a gathering somewhere between 50 to 100 people at the home, and that none of the participants that were there were wearing masks or anything of that nature. So I'm going to start first with Hugh O'Donnell, who is the tenant, and then we'll move on to the property owner. Okay.
Hi, man.
So,
how are you?
Good. So, Mr. O'Donnell, we received information that you were in charge of the party or social gathering at that. Is that correct?
I was out there dealing with the cops. That's why it might have got because our fire alarms had went off. I already told this to school. I already told this to everyone that it was not my party. I live at the house. The party was downstairs in my part of the house because there's 2 sections of the house. I tend to not drink as much anymore because I'm getting older, trying to look for jobs and focus more on school and stuff. So I was out there, but I'm constantly in and out of my room because I've had things removed from my room when people were here, when I wasn't here. So I was kind of worried about that.
Okay.
And then when the fire alarms went off, I tend to be the one to always go outside and deal with the fire department because I want to make sure they're there and they have no problems. They go through and check. I usually got them around the house and stuff like that too. And then when the cops showed up, they asked. I was the first one out there. I was like, was talking to them. They asked for my ID, and that's when I handed my ID. And I was the only one from the house to give my ID. So I think that's why it must have kind of said that I was in charge.
Well, I received a copy of the police report where it states that you were directly asked if you were in charge of the party, and you
No.
stated
Oh,
that
well,
you
you said if
were.
I was in charge.
Excuse me. Let me just finish, please.
Okay. Yeah, you're good.
He stated that you were in charge of the party. He asked if you were in charge of the party. You stated that you were, and you stated that you had about 35 people at this party. So we're going by documentation that's been provided to us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's understood, ma'am. I'm just telling
Okay.
you my side of the story. Okay.
Nope, that's completely, but
And ma'am,
You
with
have-
all due respect, I understand that you guys have the on like report that it says 50 to 100.
Mhm.
I was out there. I was in and out of my room, like I just told you. I would known if 50 to 100 people were there because that's too much. I mean, I've already had to deal with COVID before too. I've already got it. Like, there was people that I didn't know there out of my control at one point. So, I mean, going off that, we can't even fit close to 50 people down here, like just like being the size of the house itself. And I wouldn't lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I'm not going to sit here and tell you false stories. That's just the dead honest truth.
I also do not believe that the police officers are going to, they're going to put in their report exactly what they've seen along with Nichols Security. There were multiple reports filed on this incident. It's not just one person's word that we're going with. We have multiple. Just please, sir, I will allow you time to speak, but you need to allow me time to speak. This is the Board of Health's meeting. So just allow us. We have certain things that we need to get across and get through. So
yes, ma'am.
We've received this information with several different accounts from people that were on the scene, several different people sending it to us. So we have to act upon this. You've been stated as in the police report as the one that was responsible for the party. They have it noted that you said you were responsible for the party and you disagreed with them. You said there weren't 50 to 100, but there were 35 people at the party. It didn't matter if there were 12 people at the party, it would have been over the violation. I'm sorry, did that upset you? The roll of the eye, I appreciate that. That's showing great respect. Thank you.
I'm writing down, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm trying to be as respectful as possible. I wasn't rolling my eyes at you. I promise you that. Like, I'm not trying to come off as negative. I'm just sitting here writing things down.
Okay. So you are the one named in the police report. You have been the one that has been named as responsible. So they have forwarded this information to us.
Okay.
We have to act upon it because there was a violation of an order that the governor had put out. They have stated that there would be no more than 10 people at indoor gatherings. We have families, we have many different people who have abided by that order. And then when we have someone in town who violates that order and puts several other people at risk, it's very upsetting to the Board of Health, who has been working diligently, extended hours all the time to fight against this, to make sure that our community is safe. So
yes, ma'am.
From the party, we know that there has been one positive, I believe, one positive case from people who were at the party. We are aware that Nichols has their own policy and that they are acting upon it and acting upon disciplinary actions as set to their policy. So we know that they're taking care of it on their end. We're more concerned about what was going on there and what it would do to our public. Do you understand that you shop in the stores where our elderly population shop? So that if you're having gatherings of 30 people, no masks being worn, and you're not all in the same family, then you have the opportunity. You're going to go to Park and Shop, because I know you have Bison Bucks, so I know you're going to go down there, not directly you, but someone's going to go down there, and that's where our elderly population shops. Someone's going to go into Jimmy's Pizza. Someone's going to go into Yummy's. That's where our town. That's where they are. So you're coming, I apologize, you and everyone who was at this gathering or at that location are then coming out into our community and to have a greater risk of spreading COVID to our population that is at risk. When here we are fighting to keep them healthy, get them vaccinated as quickly as possible. These are things that we're working at, and all that this did was fight against everything that we're doing. I also have two other Board of Health members here. I have Lori and I have Roberta. Roberta is our public health nurse. She deals with COVID every single day. Yes, our numbers have come down some, but after Christmas in January, our numbers were up over 150, roughly 150 for a while there. This type of behavior, this doesn't make it any better. Don't you think that we all would love to get together and have gatherings and have family and friends over again like it was normal? We all miss out on this. We're just trying to understand why, and I'm using you because you were named by, again, several different people said you stated you were responsible for this party.
Mhm.
Why would you possibly think it would be a good idea to have a situation like this? The first weekend that you're back, that was the first full week of college. So that's the first weekend back. Why on earth would you think it would be a good idea? Let's get all kinds of people together to have a party, not wear masks. And we've only been here basically it was a week at that point. Why on earth would you think that that was a good idea? Why would you think that you have the right to do that over other people who are abiding by the governor's order? Roberta, do you want to add?
Sorry, I couldn't get the mute. No, I think you really hit on, you made your points very clear. You know, we all have to be respectful of the order that's out there. We all have to be respectful of each other as a community. The cases wax and wane, and it goes up and it goes down, but we shouldn't put our guard down just because the numbers are, you know, steady or there's a decrease or what have you, you know. We've been doing this for almost a year. It has been tiring. It has been trying on people's nerves, no doubt. I haven't seen my own family since Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter's coming, you know. It's difficult, but I think the guilt of putting others at risk outweighs the benefit of seeing our families, at least right now, for me. I can't speak for the public, but I think it's just, we have to be very mindful of the surroundings of where we are. You know, you are in a populated area with a lot of people who have been in the town for a long time. You know, it's not just the grocery store too, it's the restaurants, the bank. And the other thing too to keep in mind is we also have to remember where others will go. So the people that were at your party, you might not have known them all. You might have known them all, but we still don't know where they're going to go afterwards, who they have at home, who they could potentially infect, you know, and that's the thing about this virus, that it sounds great to be with our families. It sounds great to be with our friends, but we have to remember the extension on the other side, that we don't know who the virus could spread to. It just takes one person with a weakened immune system to get it really bad and end up in the hospital. And I've talked to those people. It's very scary. It's very scary. It's not just a little cold. It can be very debilitating for people. So I hope you have a lot to think about, all of you that were there, that it's disheartening to hear that we've worked so hard as a Board of Health and members of the town to keep people safe, to abide by the guidelines. So I don't want you to hate the town. I want you to stay and be happy and thrive in school and do the things that you need to do as a young adult. But you also have to, you talked about being responsible moving forward. This is part of being responsible, making sure that you're a good role model. If you're going to take on the role of being the one in your home to protect your belongings and your possessions, and making sure that you're the voice of the home when there are emergencies, then you should also be that voice and that person that puts a stop to those kinds of things.
Yes, ma'am. I
So,
understand that.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Mhm.
Lori, do you have anything? And don't worry, Hugh, I'm going to come back to you.
Yeah. Take your time, guys.
I am a local business owner, so I have to be very careful in my dealings every day. I have a lot of restrictions in place in my business, and I also have my senior mom who lives with us. So precautions on our end are, very important. And I live in this community, I shop locally, and I live literally down the street from you, FYI, walking distance. So I drive through that college campus every day. I've been so impressed with, especially in the fall when you guys all came back to school, everything was good, all your testing. And I commented to our fellow board members how it was great to see you guys all come back and then to have this happen. I just think, let's just take a step back. We're hopefully going to see the light happening at the end of the tunnel here real soon. But you're an adult at this point. You know what you did. Let's move forward from here on out and just make some wise decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Hugh O'Donnell. So I understand that, you're saying that it wasn't your party. Unfortunately, you are the one that is named to us.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I know that's why you're saying this too.
Right.
And I just wanted to mention I myself have gone through COVID. I have high risk family members. I understand the whole keeping everybody safe, and I respect that, and I respect everything that you guys have done for this town. Even if you guys don't think about it, coming back to school, you guys have a big part in that too, because obviously it's a private school, but you guys always try to do your best too. And I mean, from my point of view, it wasn't. I'm being honest with you. It was my idea. I'm actually a fifth year student, so the majority of my fellow friends and companions and everyone who I hung out with, other than my roommates that I live with, have gone and passed. They've graduated and stuff. So I mean, I understand that too, and it was just me going out there trying to be responsible and deal with the situation that was going on, when I honestly should have dealt with it earlier. I mean, I didn't know majority of the people there. It was not me, it was someone else had said something. I don't put anything on my social media, my phone records, or you can tell I was literally just in my room. I mean, I've been dealing with a lot of stress too, trying to find internships with school, and now I gotta find something somewhere else. So it's been a lot for me to. I understand where you guys come from as a board of health, but I mean, I know it just seems like because my name is thrown out there that this is all my fault. But I just want you guys to know that I understand what happened that night, and I tried to be as respectful as I was to the police officers, to everyone who was there. But then at one point it just got out of my control, because it's your word versus 25 to 30 people that you don't know. And if you say get out, what are they going to say to you? Maybe F off or something, like we're trying to have a good time. And I understand where you guys are coming from. I just want you guys to know my side of the story too.
And I do appreciate that. And I do understand that there are times when you are in situations and it may not always be what it seems. We just have to go with the information that, and we were provided multiple multiple parties provided us with information.
Yes.
So this is what we're working off of. And I mean, we've worked hand in hand with Nichols with the testing and them coming back, and everything has been great. And it's just very disheartening, and it's not the way that we want this semester to start off, and we don't, and trust me, I understand. The three of us all have children around your age or a little bit older, all around your age, and understand what it's like to be confined and everything. But we still have to follow those rules, because the sooner everybody realizes that, the sooner hopefully we get through all of this.
Yes, I
And
understand that, ma'am.
so I guess all I can say to you is that at this time, going forward, you are going to receive a formal written notice, because you are the one that has been named as the party goer. You will receive a formal written notice from the town regarding this. We also are looking into possibilities of, this is new for us. This is the first time we've ever had to deal with somebody violating the governor's order in this town. So we are giving you a written notice, and if there are any other incidents that you are involved in, the next will definitely be a fine to the town. So, but at
Yes,
this
I
point,
understand that too. Yeah,
at this
because it was like
point,
the same with school as
right.
well.
Right. So at this point, we are going to be giving a formal written notice to you, and we are still looking into the possibility of any fining or anything like that. But at this point, so you will be receiving something informal in writing in the next week that you were in violation of the governor's order, and
Yep.
stating everything basically that we've just talked about.
Yeah, and I mean, I get where your guys are coming from, like, and I'm just trying to. I'm not gonna plead my case to you guys because you guys have everything in writing. But yeah, it just looks bad. I just don't like I hate, like, I guess in a sense that, like, just because I thought I was doing the right thing, going out there and talking to the cops and dealing with the fire department, that was being responsible, but I guess I should have done something earlier.
Sometime in the manners
'Cause
that we try to be responsible isn't always the best way to
yeah,
be
and
responsible.
I don't mean, I don't want to, like, dishearten because I mean, I've been here, I just told you guys, for 5 years.
Mhm.
I mean, I've never had any incidents with town or anything, any police officers or anything. Always been respectful of me, been respectful of everyone. So, and it's just like when you say, like, I know of the kid who came, like, I don't know who told him, like, that there was something at my house. Like, I don't it was completely, like, new to me. Like, I was I told you I was in my room. I was upstairs because we have 2 different floors. I was upstairs watching, like, some UFC fights with my other roommates because they weren't doing anything, and I was like, all right, we'll watch it, like, get some good entertainment out right now. So, and I came downstairs and it was just boom. So
It is
it
hard.
was out of
And
my control to say that in that perspective. I'm gonna put it that way.
Mhm.
And
And-
I wish I knew that, like, if I had known earlier that, like, people were saying that stuff, I would have put a stop to it. But I didn't know. Like, I didn't see anything, and what I saw was people at my house.
no, and that's
And that,
understandable. And part of learning to be an adult and being responsible is learning when to put yourself in situations and when not to put yourself in situations, and to learn who to be around and who not to be around. And it's a hard learning thing, unfortunately, at this point.
and
So
it's the worst part too, because it's not really on. I mean, it's on us. Like, as whoever from my house invited someone, but it's on, like, it's the other kids who don't live here and who think they have free reign to just say,
Mhm.
you can come, you can come, you can come, and not say anything to someone who lives here, and then it gets to that point where it's too much. So,
right,
and I get what you
that's-
got. Yeah, I completely get. I understand. I'm not trying to be rude, disrespectful. I'm just trying to tell you guys what I saw and what was happening, and I respect you guys, and I appreciate you guys doing everything for town, and I understand that, I get that point of view. The elderly, like I have grandmother was Alzheimer's too, so like family, high risk family, so I get that.
I appreciate that. And we just want, by all means, we love Nichols and we love having the students here. We just want you to remember that there are others here in town that live here all the time. And
too, I didn't have control. Like I said, I didn't have control of the kid who had COVID, but like
Mhm.
from someone who has had it, like when you have it, like I get it, like regardless of whether you think you have like a cold or not, like that's something that you should be monitoring yourself as well. So I'm kind of like myself very upset at that fact too,
right.
that someone would do that.
And you're all adults,
Yeah,
whether you're
and
18 or 22, you're all considered adults. So
Yeah.
you just need to be mindful and respectful of where your surroundings are.
Yeah, and I understand that too. And I come from the city too. It's the same thing there. So
Oh, we're very passionate about our small town here.
yeah. Well, I grew up in a big town, so,
We're very passionate. So I'm going to move on to the landowners, and I apologize, I've already forgotten your names.
Yeah, I'm Rich, and this is my wife, Lisa.
Okay, thank you. I apologize. Thank you very much for being here. So, as you've heard, and I'm sure you were aware of, there was the incident that occurred on the property that you own on February 6th. So, as the property owner, you are responsible for the property and what goes on at that property. So there was a violation, as we said, of the governor's order, and you being listed as the property owner, you are responsible. You have, in a sense, because you own the property, there was a violation of that order at the property. So we have a couple questions to you. We know that property is rented to Nichols students. Is it all Nichols students, or is it mainly Nichols students, or just to give us an idea?
Yeah, that property is all Nichols students. It's all members of the football team who rent there. As far as I know, it's all football team. Might not be. We have the first I heard about it was when I got the notice in the mail. I was aware of the situation. I know when the fire alarm goes off, but I don't necessarily know when they have a big blowout or something.
Okay.
We have COVID restrictions in our lease, and we have party restrictions in our lease and drinking restrictions all within the lease.
That was going to be my question to you.
Yeah, it's a congregate living facility is how it's deemed. And so our leases are a little different than a regular apartment lease would be. And we have these items in there which pertain to students. I could read them too if you wish, but I have it in front of me.
Okay. So just so that all the board understands, so basically you just rent the rooms, like the room. It's not, does every person who rents a room from you sign something?
They all sign the same lease.
Perfect.
So the unit is rented as a unit. It's not rented as a room.
Okay. So it's rented as a unit and they all are on? Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And you said you have COVID restrictions, partying restrictions, and underage drinking.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Amongst other things.
Okay. So unfortunately, you will, because you're the owner of the property, you will receive, basically will do a written violation because the property that you own violated it. So one of your tenants violated the governor's order. And obviously they violated your lease regulations. So we will be giving a written warning to you. What that means is, just like I explained to him, is that there was a violation of the governor's order of gathering over 10 people for indoors. The next, if there's another violation through the Board of Health for any reason of that property, the next step would be a fining.
How would I, as a property owner, be able to control that from my tenants?
You are, trust me, but you are ultimately you are responsible because you are the owner of the property. Basically, you're telling your tenants that they have to abide by these rules, and you're taking them at their word, obviously, and their signature that they will. But if they don't, it is going to fall back on you because you are the legal listed property owner and you are liable. If there's underage drinking, they can come back to you at the property. It's the same thing that, unfortunately, because you own the property, you're held responsible. I understand, it's not that you should be, we don't expect that you monitor it all the time, but there is a level of responsibility, unfortunately.
Well, no, I understand the level of responsibility. That's why there's notices posted everywhere on the property. There's cameras outside the property all around it, which we do monitor. There, again, it's all in the lease. I just I have difficulty understanding how I could control something like that.
Is it because they're students, or what if these were two different families? It would be the same kind of
Because
violation?
because you're the landlord, you're the owner of the property. It wouldn't matter who you had living there. If you had a family that had a huge family gathering and violated it, and we were notified of it, it would be the same exact situation. You'd be here.
So what would you recommend we do? Because it's not the first time the police have been called to that house.
Right. I mean, because it is, affiliated, not affiliated with the college, but they are
No.
college students. And
Right.
and a couple times a year that does occur. And we're aware of that. And we try to keep that tamped down as much as we can legally from our end.
Right.
And again, what would you suggest that we do as landowners in that situation?
And we don't live near the house.
Right. I'm going to look to my other two board members, see if they want to give any input while I stew on this for a moment.
Are you allowed to fine them? I'm not sure.
Me?
No.
No, the
Oh.
homeowners.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
No.
Not you, Jen.
What are you asking? Are we allowed to fine the
Are we allowed?
tenants, or are you allowed to fine us?
No. You as land owners of the property, are you allowed to somehow have some sort of fine if they break that ruling? Even pre-COVID, you had that ruling in that verbiage, I should say, in your lease. And if they broke that, is there like a security deposit that they lose, or, like a cleaning fee that property owners have if they leave the place a mess? Well, now they don't get their cleaning
We have
fee.
all that.
Yeah,
Like
that's in there, but I mean, this is
I guess I'm just trying to brainstorm something that was presented to the younger population and I'm not saying Nichols students, I'm just saying in general, who tend to be a little bit lax about the rules. If there was a monetary clause attached to it, perhaps they would be less careless. I don't know. I'm just trying to brainstorm out loud,
Yeah.
and I don't even know if this is the platform to do so, but I'm just trying to think.
Sorry, Ro.
No,
do you have anything where, like, 3 strikes and you're out?
Well, we could, if the lease is violated, we could terminate the lease and evict anyone we wish to. If and obviously we don't want to go to that extreme,
right?
If we can avoid it. I think I'm not against implementing fines for things, but I don't think legally I can.
Yeah. Okay.
We do have usually the security deposit is lost every year because they kind of beat up the apartments pretty bad. Because of things they do, their kids and whatever, and it's understood by the parents, usually, and we're fair about it. But as far as, any kind of fines, I don't know how I legally be able to enforce that.
Yeah. Well,
Could-
a 1,000-page paper, maybe?
Yeah, it's a pretty long lease to begin with.
I know I wouldn't want to do that, never do it again.
Could you write something into your lease where if you do get, because we do have the right to fine you, not that we're not at that point right now, but let's say 2 weekends from now, there's another party at the house and it's violating the governor's order and you
Right.
end up in front of us again. Could you put something in your lease where if you are fined from the Board of Health, that whomever's responsible would have to pay that fine?
I
Well-
mean, we certainly will when the new leases come up. I mean, if COVID is probably still going to be there in, when we start the new years. But right now, I mean, at this point, we don't have anything in there that would fine them for COVID. There are other things in the lease that they have to pay if they violate, but
Okay.
Right, things that were legal within the framework of a lease are in there, such as excessive damage to property. It wouldn't just come out of a security deposit. We could charge them during the lease if they damage the property. That's in the lease.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess in the future we could work something into the lease for that.
I know
But
this
it
is
wouldn't
all
be-
new
this lease-
territory.
Yeah, this lease runs till May 31st.
Right,
So I
till the
mean,
end
what
of-
we're planning on doing, just so you know, is we're contacting all the parents. We just found out about this a week ago
Okay.
when I got the certified letter in the mail, actually less than a week ago.
Right.
And our plan is to send something out to each parent and to kind of lay this out, exactly what happened and exactly what we expect from here on in. And normally we don't involve the parents, unless we really have to. We
Right.
kind of let the kids try to do the right thing, all year. And but if the parents have to be involved, they do. And we will do that. We will send out notices to the parents and explain what's going on. That may
Okay.
help enforce COVID restrictions for the rest of the year.
Right.
But your letter, the letter that we got said that Nichols was notifying all the parents. That means all the parents of every student, even the ones that live off campus. Is that
I don't know. I apologize. I do not know exactly.
That's in their letter.
No, I was going to say, I didn't think our letter had
Well,
anything about notifying the
That
parents.
was something on actually a news thing on the internet.
Oh, okay.
So I'd have to look into that. Yeah, that was something outside your purview, whatever.
Okay.
Yep.
And I know this is all new. It's just that I lost where I was going. I'm sorry. Gotta love that. I understand that they're trying to be adults, but they're not. I know that if I'm a parent, and I'm, like I said, I'm a parent, if I got a letter that my son did something of this nature or was involved in something of this nature, he would not want to see me after that, and so
I put
that
three
may
kids
be,
through college too. So.
there's kids want to have fun and we understand that, but there's a time to do it and a way to do it. And during COVID was not the proper time to do it by any means. And I mean, that property there is a smaller property. So do you have anything in your lease about you can't have more than, I don't know, what the occupancy is, you know what I mean, to exceed occupancy?
You know what, I mean, the lease is like 25 pages long. I know that we asked the fire department about what was the occupancy. I'm not sure if we got it in this lease or if we were going to put it in the next one, but
I know there's been talk between me and the tenants as far as occupancy and how many people, and which occurred after the last incident before this one. Is it in this lease? I don't think it is, because again, I don't know as to whether we can put it in there or not, but I'm gonna look further into that.
It just might be an idea for you to look into
Sure.
to keep the occupancy there. Then you have something to go against. And you may want to sit down with all the tenants and you may get more information out of them and find out what really happened. You know, you're the one who holds them. You hold the lease for them. You can, you know, if they've violated these things,
Right,
then you have grounds. And the
Right.
person really our wish is that whomever is responsible accepts the responsibility and realizes what they've done
right,
and just accept the responsibility, because we're going to be, you know, and let's move on and go in the right direction and realize that they've made a mistake. So
Right.
you might get more information than, you know, talking to them, you know,
right,
you hold a lot over them. So,
right, right. And
Lori,
then from this point forward, I think I have no problem whatsoever posting additional bulletins around the property as to what's expected. I have no problem doing that, and I will do that. There are many around the property now concerning different things. There isn't one specific to COVID, um, but I'll make that happen.
and we do understand that when you rent to younger people, especially in a college atmosphere, it is difficult. And you are, although you're not affiliated with Nichols, you are right next to them. So it makes it a
Sure.
prime place.
Sure, and we work very closely with, I work very closely with the fire department as to what they expect from me and
Mhm.
and to put it in the best situation that we can, and with the police department. I know them all, and I try to work with them, and we'll do the best we can from here.
Do you get, so the police don't notify you if there's anything going on there?
No,
Okay.
I get notified by my fire alarm service when the fire alarm goes off. And I get notified when the fire department resets my panel
Okay.
for the alarm going off. I don't get any notice from the police department.
And you said you have video cameras well, around in
Outside the building, there's 4 cameras outside the building.
Okay. So theoretically, you could, if you had access, you could go back and see exactly what type of situation was there, how many people were in and coming out, and that's something that you can address with them.
Absolutely.
And that's a good thing that you have, that you can go forward with that, because, you know, people can say anything they want, but once you're on camera, it's pretty obvious what goes on.
Absolutely.
Okay. Lori, do you have anything?
I'm good. I mean,
Okay.
not much to add.
Okay.
I got a
Ro-
question.
Sure.
Am I gonna receive an email or like an actual like handwritten letter like the other one?
You'll receive a certified letter just like the previous one.
Okay. That's why I didn't get back to you guys, because we tend to the mailbox like they never put mail in the mailbox. So
Okay. And certified you have to sign for, so you
Okay.
you have to be there to pick it up. Someone has to sign for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we will be sending out official notice in writing of a written violation of the governor's order of gatherings of greater than 10 people. At this point, we're just going to, on our own, we're going to look into it more. This is the first time we've ever dealt with anything like this. I do appreciate both parties coming to the meeting and going forward, listening. We honestly, we just have the best interests of the people in the town. That's all. We just want to make sure everything is good. And I get it. Everybody wants to have a party. And once this is over, I'm sure there'll be lots of parties, and that'll be the time for parties to be done the proper way, So if neither of you have anything else, I think that about sums it all up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time this evening. Hugh, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
So now we're going to move on. We'll have our,
Can I just ask
oh, sure,
one more question?
sure.
Why didn't the police make any arrests?
I can't answer that. I apologize. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. You know, you could reach out to the police chief and see, you know, he may be able to tell you some information. I honestly don't know.
I went down and spoke to them after I received your notice to come tonight, and you know, they pretty much gave me an incident report on what happened that evening, which is public record. And you know, that's about as far as they go with it. I think the police department tries to work with even my building with students in it as much as they do with Nichols. You know what I mean? And just to keep it as best they can within the framework of safety, you know.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't have answers, but we just want to, you know, bring this to everybody's attention and kind of hopefully prevent it from happening at your location again. You know,
Okay.
you know, and if you have any, oh, Lori, go ahead. You have something.
I just, my input, there have been people, I'm sure all along, people have had gatherings that have broken the rules. I just think because this is a college, this is Nichols, you have a larger student body. I think they're under a more watchful eye. We monitored them all fall. Again, they've been so good. They followed protocols. The testing was amazing. They test the students. They're how many cases, Ro? Like very few last fall out of Nichols. So
Yeah.
They had like 5. Yeah, it was very few.
Exactly. So I think being a college setting, maybe that's why we just want to remind these kids, you know, you are young adults, lead by example. Yes, there are going to be people who are breaking the rules, but I just think because this was college related, these students, they had just come back, you know.
Sure. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. It's not that you want to slap their wrist, but you want to slap their wrist.
Yep. Right.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you
Okay.
both very much.
Thank
All right,
you.
thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, Ro, I have you up next as the COVID update and public health nurse.
I think we're at 51 cases active. We had a nice little, you know, decrease there for a little bit. You know, things seem to be slowing down. So that's pretty good. Not really much. We're just kind of waiting. You know, we've been working well. Jamie, you know, has been doing a good job trying to, you know, get things set up for the town. And it seems like a lot of people are following the guidelines that the governor has, and things seem to be changing on a daily basis. I know there was another state added, you know, that's low risk now. So I hopefully we're going in the right direction, and maybe little by little, the East Coast will, you know, turn white instead of red, and now Dudley's in the yellow. So that's a good thing too.
Very good.
But hoping that we're turning the corner now, you know. So we'll see. Time will tell.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. I know Jamie couldn't be with us tonight, but I can tell you that we've been actively getting our over 65 and people with two morbidities, sorry. Wow. We're getting them booked at Harrington. Our Board of Health assistants have been working on that. Every day they're calling people. Today they're working on a huge list. There will be for the next couple of days, calling to see all the people that we've sent emails to that they could schedule their appointments. Have they scheduled their appointments? Do you have your appointment yet? Have you received your first? So that we can then remove them off and not keep resending emails when we get notification from Harrington. Harrington's being great. They're opening up spots. They're sending them out to all of us. Jamie gets notified quite a bit. Last Friday, she called and said, we can send 10 people over, walk right in. That was great. You know, so we called 10 people off of the list. We have an ongoing list. If you come on to it. You get put down at the end, but you'll get, if you're over 75, you'll get bumped up. You know, if you're 65 and the 2 more comorbidities, you'll go to the bottom of that list. So she is doing a very good job on that, and our Board of Health assistants are doing a great job. So I thank both of them.
Still no word on a local, anything for us?
Mm-mm.
No,
I haven't asked you guys in the last couple days, so I figured, things have
As-
probably not changed.
as it stands, it seems like they're not going to
Gonna get
give to the
any.
local boards of health.
Okay.
But who knows, that could change, right? We're ready.
Right. Yeah, we are. Yeah. We're just
ready.
waiting for them to say, give us the green light, you know?
And we would throw it together in 3 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
kudos for all the hard work of getting people connected with Harrington, though. I think that's wonderful. So at least some effort is being made on the local, the local
Absolutely.
end to get people
Yeah.
connected.
Absolutely.
Great
So,
job, everybody.
And Ro, I thank you for everything that you're doing dealing with the COVID cases and
Wonder Woman.
and working with
Hey.
Deb. And I mean, it's just, you're doing a great job. And I thank you, because
Thank you.
we've seen other towns that don't have somebody like you, and we've seen what happens. And I don't want to be one of those towns. So I
No.
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So I will tell you that I did get an email from the school committee chairman inquiring about when school is back. I don't have the email. I moved it. Sorry. School is back with basically he was asking when they could meet back in person. It was emailed to the Charlton Board of Health and myself. So Charlton Board of Health said they were having a meeting tonight and they would discuss it, but at this time they were still meeting Zoom, and the town hall wasn't open. I've talked to our town administrator, and I also agree that I feel we're not open to the public yet. It's a good idea to keep meeting via Zoom. It's not so much of like, oh, if we have a Board of Health meeting, it's usually the 5 of us. It's all those other people that you could have coming in. You know, if they have a school committee meeting, how many people are going to show up to it? And I think we should try to hold off. They're in the stages of doing vaccinations. And I mean, you guys can jump in and tell me yay, nay, no, you're crazy. But I think we should hold off till I understand the schools are, reopening more and more and more. And so that's their inclination is that, well, the schools are open, so we should be able to meet. But neither town hall is open, nor does neither town hall have plans of opening anytime soon. They're trying to wait for some of the population to get vaccinated and get ahead of the game. So they're pushing off almost till about, the May time frame of town meeting being the first real in-person meeting. I don't think that's a bad idea at this point. I mean, we've been doing.
Right. I think, I'm sorry.
No.
I think, we just went from red to yellow, and you're right. We're trying to vaccinate our population. We're trying to get as many people vaccinated. But I think a few things have to kind of be factored in when Governor Baker changes what's going on out there, when the red states now become white and we can safely travel in between, and when the restrictions on gatherings change. Like right now, you're only allowed to have so many people indoors. There's still restrictions in the restaurants. There's still one-way aisles in the grocery stores. We put all these measures in place to keep each other and the communities safe. So I don't think, I think school's a different entity. They are having their own measures to keep the children safe to go back, with the spacing. And we've had a lot of great strategies in place to keep the kids and the staff safe, with the masks and the hand washing, which is the same thing that we're doing in the community. So I don't think that just because one entity is doing it, that we should too. When we're ready to have those restrictions come down, then we can start allowing the public to come back into town hall into our meetings and such. So I think this is working fine, and if we need to have folks come into our meeting, it's still a good platform to have. So I agree that we should just kind of keep it as it is. It might change next month. It might, it might change in April. It could change Friday, who really
Right.
knows? But I think right now, I don't like to fix what's not broken. And I think I'm comfortable where we are. Not to say that we couldn't go in person, because we could have cases with whatever. You go to the store,
Right.
but I think right now, slow and steady seems to be working well for us.
I
So
just don't want to.
I
Oh, sorry.
agree. Yeah.
I keep cutting you off. I'm so sorry.
No.
I just don't want to jump the gun and be like,
No.
yeah. And then, we just had February vacation. I'll be interested to see if we have a spike after that. Did people travel? Did people do this? And I mean,
Right.
I get it. And trust me, I would much rather meet in person than over this, but it's
Mhm.
working and
Right.
we're able to conduct all of our business. So
Well, that was going to be the other thing. Are people concerned that they're not able to get their needs met, with town hall? So if it seems to be working, it worked before in the summer when we had to make some changes. And I think we made some adjustments with the kiosk outside and things like that. So I think if anything, we learned from what we did before, we made it a little bit better now.
right.
So I don't think there's a whole lot that, other than being in person, that we could make better right now. But I think it does seem to be working okay.
Okay. Lori? Okay, thank you.
Leave all the chatting for you guys.
You're our supporter.
So I will pass that along to Mr. LaFerrier. A couple notations that I want to make is that if anyone has questions about signing up for the vaccine, getting the vaccine, anything of that nature, you can call 508-949-8036. Leave a voicemail. That phone is checked at least twice a day, and callbacks are done within 5 days, depending on how many callbacks we have, and that's your best bet. Call them. Call that directly. That's the Board of Health COVID kind of hotline for vaccinations and everything. So again, it's 508-949-8036. That's should be your number one place to go. They have great that's where you're going to get your information. If you call the selectman's office, unfortunately, Michelle's going to, try to help you, but she's going to end up sending you down to us. So just 508-949-8036. Also, the kiosk is working wonderfully. It's open Mondays 12 to 4, Tuesdays 8 to 12, and Wednesdays 8 to 11:30. They do drive-through transactions. So if you need to pay your bills and you want to do it that way, or there's the drop box in the police station lobby as well. And we are making there's adjustments that if someone needs to be seen in person, you schedule an appointment. There's a Board of Health assistant there to, check your temperature, do all those things before coming in. So I think we've got a good grasp on it, and I'm not ready to change things yet.
Agreed.
So does anyone else have anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, so we have minutes. That's right. I blew over the minutes. I apologize. Whew.
Well, we were busy.
Trying to get all the COVID stuff out of the way. So let's do the minutes then.
Oh, geez, I don't have them in front of me. What are the dates? You need me to, we have to be specific, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
So I'm looking for a motion for the minutes of 10:29, 11:09, 12:1, and 1:26.
Okay.
Write those down, Ro.
Yeah, I did. You can take 2 and I'll take 2. No.
Wait, I don't have a pen. I'm so unprepared. I closed my email already.
All right. Okay.
Them
So
all.
I have to state my name.
Well, yes,
one?
and then we have to do a roll call vote at the end.
All right. So I make a motion to accept the minutes from October 29th, November 9th, December 1st, and January 26th.
I second that motion.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
No.
Seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
Roberta
Lori
Johnson,
Ducharme.
aye.
Lori Ducharme, aye.
Jen Canoyer, aye. Passes unanimously. All right. I think that's it. Nobody has anything else?
No, didn't we talk enough?
I know, Amanda, they're not normally this long, honestly.
Yeah, for her.
Oh, and Lori, have you met Amanda?
I've met her at the town hall. Hi,
Okay.
Amanda, officially.
Amanda is the new,
Welcome.
I'll make the notice to everybody out there. Amanda is our new Board of Health Building NZBA clerk, and she's doing a great job, and we're happy to have her.
Welcome.
Welcome.
All right, that's it. Then I guess we're all set. So I'll
Very good,
entertain a
ladies.
motion.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, roll call vote.
Roberta Johnson, aye.
Lori Ducharme, aye.
Jen Canoyer, aye. Meeting adjourned at 5:32 p.m.
Wow, an hour.
I
Amazing.
know. That is crazy. Okay.